Hi there, I'm Budda and you're watching Dr. Guitar, a show for all you guitarists out there. In today's episode, we are continuing to talk about the Budda Power Blues pre-production. I'm using it just to show you how I do things, because besides being a guitar player and a musician, I'm also a singer. But for this episode, what matters is that I'm also a producer, a music producer, and a recording and mixing engineer. So in this episode, I thought I could show you how I mic drums, how I approach guitars, how I approach bass. And we'll be hearing the various tracks that we've been recording here in the pre-production. So you'll hear drum tracks, isolated mics, like kick drum mic, snare mic, overhead, all the mics, and how I use it, how I process it, why do I use it. For the guitar tones, you are probably familiar with it if you have been watching the show and subscribing the channel, but I will show it anyway, so you to understand why do I choose that specific mic and why do I like that tone and what's in my head. This is not definitely not the only way to do it. It's just the way I did it in this pre-production, and it varies from band to band, from musician to musician, from song to song, from genre to genre. So there's not a rule to do it. I usually start with the rule, and the mics we had on the drum kit, it's my usual go-to basis. So I usually mic it with the Glynn Johns technique adaptation, because it's not properly the Glynn Johns, but I have one mic on top of the drummer's head and another mic close to the floor tom looking at the kick drum. So that's my basis. For example, for Budda Power Blues, that's the drum miking live. We don't use kick drum mic, we don't use toms, we don't use snare mic. We only use two mics, two large diaphragm mics, one on top of the drummer's head, one close to the floor tom, but beneath the ring of the tom, aiming to the kick drum and equidistant to the snare. And why do I do that live? Because Nico has a great balance in his drums. He has a great tone into his drums. If you mic individual pieces of the kit, you may fuck his balance. So this way, the drummer sets his balance. What you are hearing, it's what the drummer's playing. And I don't like the kick drum to boomy. I don't like the snare to be super mic'd. I like to hear the drum as one instrument, as I listen to the drums in the rehearsal room when we play live. Even on stage, we don't use monitors. I only have my vocal and their vocals on the monitors. All the other things, the bass, the guitar, and the drums, I'm listening the guitar and the bass through the amps, and the drums, I'm listening to it acoustic. So I don't need anything else. And we set the balance of the band acoustically. So we hear each other and we balance the volumes each other. So in this episode, we'll show you how the bass sounds with the mic, with the 421 and with the DI, and with both together. And then we'll separate the tracks from the drums, from the kick, the snare, the overheads, kind of overheads, the Wurst, and the room, middle and sides, so you might have a listen to what it sounds. Well, that's it. I hope you have liked the show. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channels. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. And we'll see each other next week. Bye-bye.